Peace. This is King Noble, Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about survival versus comfort. Let's talk about survival versus comfort. A lot of what people call survival is actually comfort. It's a fear of being uncomfortable. It has nothing to do with survival. And what they call surviving, which is the stuff they do every day, working, the way they live, is really maintaining a temporary comfort zone. It has nothing to do with their own personal survival. Because if you're not in control of society, the economy, the politics, then you don't have any power. And in order to determine your survival, you would have to have actual power, not comfort. Comfort is not going to help you survive. So if we were willing to be more about the securing of our survival as a race, as a people, than we were for comfort, we would already be liberated as a people. We would already have power, and we would already be in position. But day to day, we are concerned with our comforts. We want to maintain our comforts. We work to be comfortable. And we would not sacrifice comfort to be in a better place of survival. You could be in an uncomfortable place, but it could be the best place for your survival. Given situations, circumstances, world events, or your personal situation. You might be in an uncomfortable place, but it may better sustain your survival. And you can be in a comfortable place, but that comfortable place will not sustain your survival. It's only temporary. And to be in a space of comfort could put you in a direct place of being targeted by that which wants to exterminate you, that wants to remove your chances of survival, either directly or either indirectly. So sometimes the most comfortable place really is the place that could be most dangerous to your survival, because it's typically controlled and maintained by forces outside of you that put your destiny inside of their hands. And where you could survive at may not be that comfortable at all, but you would be guaranteed to survive if you knew how to live minimalistically, minimal amounts of survival skills, the ability to endure. Our future as a people, as a race, is a lot of time more focused on us becoming more comfortable as a race. Everything we want, the reason we want more money, better jobs, greater education, is more based on becoming more comfortable in America. Because what it would take to survive, the level of discomfort that one would have to endure in order to guarantee survival, would be shunned upon by most people who have become comfortable in this society. They shun upon being uncomfortable or discomfort for any moment, for any second. They look down upon it as though it is primitive, unintelligent, it is irrational. And they act like it will jeopardize your chances of survival, which are not true. That you are more likely to die in the matrix, in the major cities, in the urban areas, than you are in the middle of the wilderness and in the middle of nowhere. That humanity and how it has been wired and how it has been programmed is more of a threat to your survival than nature. Any bacteria or virus, poisonous plant, or any weather condition, humanity is more dangerous to your survival than nature is. And this is a fact. But while humanity is a danger to your survival, a danger to your freedom, it really is the most comfortable place that you can be. The closer you are to humans, the more comfortable you will be. The more closer you are to society, the more comfortable you will be. This is just a fact. Even cats and domesticated animals know that. But in exchange for that comfort, you are giving up your freedom. You're giving up your sovereignty. You're giving up your autonomy. You're giving up your ability to self-regulate. You're giving up self-sustainability. And you're also giving up the process by way in which you can develop in order to survive anything and anyone. That you have actually stepped out of that process. And that process is life. That's what life does if you're willing to weather it. If you're willing to brave it, literally. Life will make you a more stronger, more enduring, more wiser, and more ready person if you're willing to weather it. But if you seek comfort, you will always be a slave to those who provide the comforts, who have access to the comforts, who control and monopolize everything that produced the comforts. And you will always be under their laws, rules, and regulations, whether you say it's theirs, whether you say it's yours, whether you say it's your inheritance, whether you say you're the original person here. As long as they provide it and they control the organizations and the mechanisms of which those comforts are distributed, you will be under their policy and their rules and their regulations. But if you're willing to step out into the wilderness, if you're willing to take up a course on actual survival, you will be free. You will be free. And you have a better chance of surviving. And justice will be in your hands, and you'll make up the rules. And it's you and nature. It's between you and nature. See, there's a war of man versus nature. But we haven't really took up that real war because we want comfort. So we don't even get to the real battle with nature. So we have to go and get under the man who's won the war against nature. And the man who has done that is the white man. See, he's defeated nature for you. And the comforts that he provides are the spoils of war. But if you want a comfort that fortifies your humanity, that supports your freedom, then you will have to win the war against nature on your own, and then you will deserve what you gain from it, what it yields to you. But as long as you just want to be comfortable, and you call comfort civility, and you call in the willingness to endure discomfort and learn how to survive on your own as primitive, as animalistic, if you have a condescending attitude towards being able to know how to survive on your own, you will always be under the white man. You will always be under the institutions. You will be a perpetual slave that will be subject to their jurisdictions and their laws into areas that they micromanage and control down to the T. But if you're willing to embark upon the true road to freedom, which is your confrontation and showdown in nature, then you'll win the argument before it begins. Comfort has nothing to do with survival. Our people in the Matrix are not surviving. They have not even confronted their survival. They have not even faced their survival. It's comfort that is connected to their psychological makeup. They don't fear not being able to survive. They fear a moment of discomfort. They cannot tolerate or stomach a moment of discomfort. And that puts them right in the hands of their enemy, because he gives them all the comforts that they want in exchange for subjugation, in exchange for their souls, for their voluntary enslavement. He will give them everything they want. And the minimals that will make one comfort, the worst of his institutions provide that for you. Look at jail. They provide you with the minimalist of comforts. If you go out into nature and forge your war with nature yourself, you won't get that. You're not guaranteed hot running water. You're not guaranteed fire, air conditioner, soap, clothes. You're not guaranteed anything. You will get that, the minimal of that, in the worst of the European institutions. You'll get more. Jail will give you more than nature will give you. But it's one thing that prison cannot give you, that forging and waging your war with nature would. And that's freedom. That's independence. Nature will give you that. Nature has that for you. But you have to be willing to embrace and deal with the discomfort. Discomfort is the price of freedom. Temporarily discomfort is the price of freedom. It's the price of independence. It's the price of nationalism. If you can't get away from this devil and learn how to live without him, you will not be free. And the more independent you become, the more freedom that you will have. You will no longer be in the herd of the masses of asses. You'll no longer be lost in the crowd. But you will be free. And you have a better chance, and this is what's crazy, that as a black man in this country, you have a better chance of surviving in nature than you do in the average community, whether it is the projects or whether it's some upscale, high-class gated community. You have a better chance of surviving out in the middle of nature than you do in the city, in the modernized society. This is a fact. When you take that Sankofa and return back to your roots, you will have to reinvent primitive technology that can ensure your survival outside of the matrix. And I'm gonna do a whole video talking about that. But I had to explain to you the difference between survival and comfort. You can be uncomfortable and outlive half the earth. And you can be comfortable, but your comfort could be a very short vacation, a very short-lived moment when you confront that which is an enemy to your survival. And as a black man, you have become an enemy of the state. You are an enemy of the state, trying to survive off the state of which you are an enemy of. So you only have temporary comforts. But the threat to your survival is around every corner, every block, every traffic stop. Every black on black self-hated confrontation. Your survival is a threat, at risk. This King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleblacksupremacy.com. Donate, and definitely don't hate.